Wow, what a great audience. Lights, please.
Hey, I do not want to live in Rainbow Land, and you can't make me live in Rainbow Land! This is America!
You do not have to live in Rainbow Land.
You can go to Rainbow
It
Land.
does not exist. It's a fictitious place. I was 8 when I wrote it. It's from
right
a
here
town.
in
It's Communist Manifesto.
I won't go to Rainbow Land. Not yet. It doesn't exist. Go back to where you're from, pig.
It's not a real place. How many times I gotta say it? It's not real. What is he pointing at? Don't worry, wait, he's looking at you. Is he pointing at me? Sure the fuck is.
Hey, you're a communist.
You talking shit about me again? What is he pointing at? You pointing at me?
What?
Were you pointing at me? You talking to me? Fucking dickhead. What are you doing? What are you pointing? No. What did you say? No. Your nickname in school was Tickle Shit. Marty! Off his hair! You do not touch my hair! Touch my hair! It's a $900 haircut! Have a cop!
Don't talk about that, kid. Don't talk about that.
I think that's when he slaps the dog.
Tickle shit's got me.
It's so funny. If I remember watching that, watch the movie,
Yeah.
and he's like, you see in the scene where he's like, I don't want to live in Rainbow Land, and you can't. But he's reading from his hand.
I didn't know
The
that.
guy who's like in the audience
Yeah.
saying the thing, it was a plant.
Oh,
I think he's like, I don't want to live in Rainbow Land, and you can't. He's just like, it's all animated. It's so classic. That's such a classic. Do it. Yeah. The good stuff. Phil, welcome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. We've been eating ice soup and talking about some TOEs and some Red Power God stuff.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Red Power Gods,
Yeah.
I'm loving the festive sweater you got on. By the way,
It's Christmas, baby.
I'm loving it,
Let's
dude.
go.
Perfect.
Yes, sir. I like it. December 1st, I got to wear this. 100%. Long time coming. I'm so excited to podcast with you. We got good things to talk about.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to do this like 3 weeks ago and never got to it.
Yeah.
But now we're here.
I've just been sitting by your doorstep waiting for you to get home.
Timon.
Hello.
Timon. Yeah, you texted me a couple times. Hey, Timon, are you, how's Kansas? How you doing? That's good, brother. We're doing good. We're drinking milkshakes and beers.
Milkshakes and beers. Mm-hmm. Interesting combo. I'm loving it.
Milkshakes are slapping.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm here for that. So tell me something, Phil.
Shoot.
Why do you hate First Fridays?
Let me tell you something. The First Fridays are an abomination to the people of Goshen.
Okay,
And here's why.
I'm not disagreeing. I'd love to hear this. Tell me.
Okay. First of all, right, they're just low rent cut rate fares.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
We've already got a fare. That's already a problem. We don't need more fares. We don't need a once a month fare.
Yeah.
And I don't need a bunch of people making it impossible for me to just go home.
Yeah. I've received 2 texts from you. Both times I was traveling doing something, so I wasn't home to help you out in your time of distress.
I needed directions from you just so I could get from one end of the city to my house. I was just imagine this. You get off of a like 4-hour plane ride. You've been up since 2:30 in the morning. You got to poop. You just want to go home. You just want to be in your own home.
Yeah.
But you can't because the city is blocked off both entrances to the street you live on.
Yeah. Completely cut off.
Completely cut off.
Yeah, and there is one way, but there's construction, so you can't go to the main. It's just like you are done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I navigated you through. I got you through, bro.
Barely. I barely made it.
Yeah, you were not. I was like taking screenshots of my Apple, like my maps,
Yeah.
and then drawing, and then sending you like go this route, and then take a left on this, and go through here and jog that way.
By the time I got home, I made it up my stairs, and I fell asleep for like 3 hours on my porch.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
even like. I put the key in. I woke up to my like car keys or like my
In
set
the
of keys
door.
in the door. I never got a chance to unlock it. I just sat down and passed
Where'd
out.
you poop?
Well,
Yeah, we've all been there.
but yeah.
A porch poop, no big deal.
I don't understand with a city with so many like they took not necessarily took the time, but they built public parking lots all over the city.
Right.
You're telling me that many people show up to like one street of activities?
So one time you get back from a wedding, and this is you were up at 2 a.m., flew in all the way from 20 hours away from here. You get in
Florida.
Florida, and you cannot get to your house. You can't park in the place. You have to park somewhere else. You have to get there. And that's when I navigated you through the city.
Makes me mad just thinking about it.
Right. The second time, this is the second text I get from you, is just a rant. Like, I should find it. My phone's recording.
Did I go off a little?
You went off. It was like a paragraph of the. This was, I think this was last month. Maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah, no, because
It was like November.
Because I keep forgetting that the first Fridays are a thing because there was such, like, I'm so used to, I think I'm still used to, like, when COVID was around, when I could just get to my house and there was no, like,
Right.
there's no problems.
Yeah.
There's no people. It's great. And then all of a sudden, I got a long day of work, just trying to get home.
Right.
It's still light out. It's a normal day. And here I am, driving around town for 3.5 hours, just trying to find a place to park.
Yeah.
And nowhere near my house. Where do I find a place to park? 4 streets over. I had to park in the parking lot next to your house and walk all the way back to my house, like
4 blocks, 3
duck
blocks.
walking because, surprise, surprise, I had to poop. Happens to me a lot.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was hilarious when you told me about that. That would be frustrating. You don't even have, and you're a renter, so it's like you don't even have. You're on the second
I have
second
to park.
story of a place, so you don't have a.
I have to park on the street.
Yeah.
I have no choice.
Yeah, it's the only spot you can park. Yeah, that's frustrating.
I'll have to say about that night. Thank goodness they moved out of the way because at one point I'm like shuffling down the sidewalk and here comes a family laughing, having a good time. Little kids got cotton candy. I'm headed right for them and I'm not moving. Somebody's going to get hit. Unless I move out of the way. Thank God they just happened to be close enough to that car where they moved because I was going to knock over a little girl and just destroy
word.
her little cotton candy.
Imagine you just had a great first Fridays, and then this dude comes out of the dark,
Here comes
smelling like farts, pushes you.
propelled completely by farts.
Yeah.
Angrier than sin.
Yeah, just pushes the little girl over. That would be hilarious.
For me, not so much for her.
It'd be very. They would never go to First Fridays again.
Which would probably be a good thing. I should start doing that. I should start terrorizing the people who show up at First Fridays.
It's doable. Yeah, all you have to do is hand out gospel tracts.
So I'm gonna start leaving out those like $50 bills where
Right.
it's like half the size. And you open it up and it's just a gospel tract.
Yeah, I love those.
Oh yeah.
Great. I don't tip anymore. I just give them the word of life.
Oh, you're a monster.
My goodness, imagine. I ran a Twitter poll. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, but I asked. I went to a restaurant and I called in and I said, "Hey, I would like da 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 da. I'd love to grab it. 10 minutes." Like, yeah, perfect. So I go in and I get the stuff, and then flip it over. It says, "Please tip," and you can choose what you want to tip: 20%, 15%, 18%, custom. So I chose custom, and I gave them a couple $.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe I didn't tip at all. For this story, I say, but I'm sitting there. I'm like, when do you tip and when do you not tip? I feel like the lines of tipping is so blurry now. Like,
Yeah, no, because literally the day before that poll, I was at.
you saw that on Twitter. I asked.
Well, I had seen that on Twitter, but like the day before, I experienced something similar. I was at Little Caesars, and I don't know if it's something that's always been there, but I noticed there was like a tip option, and I'm thinking,
their whole business model is come in and grab something hot and ready, and then you're done.
well, because like on the other hand, like any other pizza place, like delivering it to me, tip,
Makes sense.
and I'm tipping good because you drove the pizza. I didn't have to do anything,
Right.
but it is odd because you almost feel obligated to. But
Right.
why?
Well, I think the reason why they're doing it is things have shifted, and everything has it now. Like literally everything.
I was going
Tip a cashier.
to the gas station. Quite a few gas stations now. It's not necessarily tipping, but this is something I noticed. They like if you use your card on the little screen, it brings up before the last part. It brings up like 2 or 3 options of donating.
Oh yeah,
Like you donate, it's a few cents.
This thing.
We round up to $1 or
Yeah.
$1 or $2 or $5.
Yeah.
But there's no like clear option to exit out of that menu.
Right.
I mean, there's like a little button that says cancel, but
it's like a scammer pop up
Yeah,
when you go
so
to
it's
like a
like-
website that you're
Yeah.
like, is this? Am I really downloading this thing, or am I downloading something that I'm not?
It's like a trick.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I usually just round up to $1 because it's easier. Why not? Like it's like going to Goodwill. I always round up to
Do
$1.
you know where you're giving it to? Freaking lizard people, but that's okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
sooner or later, the money you spend is going to go to a lizard person. Let's be honest
been
here.
going. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've been feeding that
Yeah.
hog a long time.
Dude, anytime you walk into the gas station, lizard person.
100%. There is a lizard person behind that counter. In more ways than one.
Hey, buddy, do you want?
Whoa.
Well, that was mean. That was mean. No, not a lizard person, but for real though, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Do you remember the? Anyways, go ahead. You're going.
But yeah, no, I thought that like that's the cruelest thing possible because it like unless you're fully paying attention or the lady behind the counter, it doesn't have to be a lady, but the person behind the counter
Right. The
says something to you,
non-gender
you just
affirming
have to press cancel. Because like it just
Yeah, but it's like so inconvenient.
it's an inconvenience and it's a very like
It should
it's
be a
just-
big yes box and a big no box.
honestly like I don't know because everybody's different, but like
Yeah,
maybe
but
the
what if
same
you hit
thing is
cancel
if you put a tip jar there, I'd probably if
Yeah.
I was paying with cash, I'd throw my change in there. I always do because
Yeah.
I mean I'm not going to carry around change, and why not, right? But like to have to trick people into that for like 12 cents,
Yeah,
like that's just shady, dude.
it is. Or like, yeah, why am I tipping Little Caesars? They're doing work, but that's not a place that's like that. I would assume they're being paid hourly. Wasn't tipping for when people weren't getting paid. Anyway, I ran that poll and I asked,
Yeah.
do you tip in this situation? Do you not tip? Do you give a little bit of money? And I got very different answers from different people. One of my most enjoyable answers was, "Is she cute?"
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, it's just I don't. And when you look at the results, it's like even everyone. I mean, it's a ton of people voted. 20. So it's a
Big
wide,
crowd.
big crowd, huge crowd. But it was interesting just to see that. Like, out of the people who did vote, it was pretty much 1/3 said no, 1/3 said yes, 1/3 said a little. And I'm like, if I go to a fast food place, I don't feel comfortable.
Yeah,
like if I go to McDonald's and I'm buying my stuff, do I really throw another 20% on top? I always thought tipping was more for.
See, that's something I started doing during like when all the COVID stuff started because I don't know, it felt odd not to because like everything shut down and for some reason McDonald's of all places is still running. You get McDonald's and
essential.
Walmart,
It's essential, bro.
the most essential two places.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, it just felt odd because I started carrying cash with me. So like if I was waiting in line at like McDonald's and like sometimes they have you pull forward because they don't have like
Yeah.
the way
yeah.
it works. And if somebody came out,
Whatever
like,
you're making is a little bit longer than the guy behind
Yeah.
you or whatever. Yeah.
so if somebody came out, well, like with the food, I would usually give them something.
That's cool.
Just because, like, I don't know, I just
Yeah.
felt like I was doing a little something.
Mm-hmm.
Made me feel special.
Yeah, and it's you get favor from it. Get a little favor here, a little favor there. That's kind of nice. But yeah, not everyone's Mr. Moneybags who can just throw out
Different
ones.
times.
Or if the McDonald's worker, here's a 1, here's a 1, here's a 20,
Here's some change. Here's some change.
here's a quarter.
Buy yourself something nice. Clink, clink, clink.
You walk up with your food. You're like, wait a second. You pull out 12 cents.
You hold your hand out.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine.
You know, not to backtrack here, but this conversation reminded me of something. Just a couple weeks ago. No, longer than that. A couple months ago, really. I'm at Little Caesars, I don't go there very often, but I'm a fan. I mean, it's quick, it's easy. You know what it's going to taste like. Right?
Yeah, awful. Okay, go.
Depends on who you.
I'm gonna argue. It's okay. We have argued. That's all good.
It's awful, but it's food, man.
Yeah.
I mean, kinda. It might be food.
One time Lincoln was arguing that it would make a great omelet. Do you remember that breakfast food? Anyway,
I feel like I do. I feel like I deeply disagree in a special way. Shame on you.
You're totally supporting him. No, okay, go ahead.
I might have been. Like I said, people change. Anyway, so I'm getting
12 cents a change. Okay.
okay. Anyway, a while back, I'm
at Little Caesars.
waiting at Little Caesars, because there's no such thing as hot and ready anymore. It's going to be 5 to 10 minutes, which means 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You're waiting in line. Because of COVID, they took all the seats away. So you're just leaning against a window in a tiny room surrounded by people who are all upset.
It's like a when you go to a show and you're all crowded in at the front of the stage.
You go to a show, but there's never a headliner. It's just
there's no music, just names. Phil.
There's number 27.
Number 27, got your cheese pizza. Yeah.
Anyway, so like I go in with that mentality, like I don't want to wait a bunch. So literally, whatever I see that's ready, I'm gonna take it. Like I'm gonna try to get what I want, and if I don't, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
All I know is I don't want anything with sausage on it because
that's the line.
The pizza's already fake. The sausage is too far. It's too far. So I get in line.
It's not kosher. That's for sure. It's not kosher.
I see something that I want. Or what looks like something I want, because sometimes they just put them in different boxes, because why not?
Yeah.
And I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, hey, is that, so-and-so? And he goes, no, it's this. And, I said, well, I'm not going to wait. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So he goes, okay. And so he hands me like a deep dish sausage pizza.
Oh, jeez.
Which upsets me, but I'm like, I'm hungry.
I'll do it. I'll pick the sausage up. No big deal.
Mm-hmm. I've already been waiting in line for like 20 minutes. I just want this.
Right.
So I get it. He goes to scan it. And Little Caesars does, after like so much time has passed, when they go to scan it, it will show like there's an expiration date. It's like a half hour.
Mm.
And if it gets to that point, they have to throw it out. They can't sell it.
Okay.
But no one pays attention to what they do. So he goes, he scans it. I'm like, I'm finally about to eat. I'm starving. I get it. And then he realizes, oh, it's past the expiration date. I can't sell this to you.
The sausage is expired.
Well, like I had paid for it first, and then realized, oh, it's expired. I can't sell, so I'll make you a new one. So now I'm waiting for another 45 minutes.
Oh,
for a pizza I didn't even want.
And you can't reverse?
Like I paid for it, and I'm starving, and I'm already here. I've already waited 20 minutes. What's another 45?
Yeah.
So I'm
so
in this
sorry,
Little
dude. That
Caesars
hurts me.
for over an hour for a pizza I didn't even want. And did I eat it? Yes, I did. Did I cry about it? Sure did.
Yeah. Did you eat it in the parking lot?
Yeah, I ate it in my car.
Crying while you looked at the wooden fence. Parked right up next to the wooden fence, next to the dumpster, just crying.
Just crying into a wooden fence while I slam a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Think about, I should probably make some changes.
I'm not living my best life.
I don't know what my best life is, but this ain't it.
Yeah, this is not it. That's tough. That's really tough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you told me that you saw something this morning on Twitter.
Oh,
I'd like to hear about this.
Oh yeah. So this is how I've tracked the downfall of society. like I always hear about these things being like.
It wasn't the amount of First Fridays we're having. No. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, like I hear people talk about this, or I hear it on podcasts and stuff, but I don't see these types of things, so I don't really think too much in it. Especially like on Twitter, because I'm used to like, the before Elon times, where it was just like everything is censored, or like there's always that black screen that says
unavailable.
Yeah, or not necessarily unavailable, but like you have to click it again to watch it.
Oh,
or
yeah.
The censor screen thing.
Yeah. Show graphic warning.
Yeah,
show
graphic warning thing. Yeah, and like I get to work and I have a few minutes before I have to clock in, so I'm just scrolling through my phone and I click on it just to see something, or just to have something to look at.
A little dopamine hit, no big deal. Yeah.
And which is his own problem. But anyway, so I click it open.
Remind me about the dopamine, because I got a story for you after that. Yeah.
The first thing I see, it's these 3 people are in a car. I see a video. It's these 3 people in a car. There's a guy in the hanging out in the middle in the back seats, kind of leaning into the front, and there's a person in the driver in the passenger seat. And they're all kind of joking, laughing, having a time, and then all of a sudden one of them, it's a girl and 2 guys. And the girl, she has this like a handgun, which I assume is like the person in the back's gun. And she's just, acting like, I got this gun. And she's just saying a bunch of like, what you gonna do about,
Yeah, just dumb things.
Yeah, she's just,
oh, no.
in a sense trying to be goofy. And the guy in the passenger seat is very like uncomfortable. And the guy in the back goes, and I took a clip out, you're fine, man. She's just messing around. And as soon as he says that, pop, and goes up. And the next thing you see is the guy in the passenger seat. Like he's in the middle of a sentence and then he just goes, and
no way.
Like just, this is graphic, but I mean, like,
yeah, just bits everywhere.
well, no, it's just a string of blood is just pouring out of his head, like pink blood, like this brain, basically. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I've been around a lot of death in my life. My family owns a butcher shop.
Right.
I mean, it's not the same thing.
Right.
But I mean, death is death to a certain degree.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I've been around enough, it didn't faze me. Like, that is going to haunt me for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And all I did was open Twitter.
Well, I remember seeing a Twitter video pre-Elon. So this was when you still censored. Yeah. And it was Cartel murdering someone. And I mean, I still vividly remember. I can think, I see it. I know exactly what. It's brutal, dude. Which, it's weird, right? I don't think I've seen as much death until... like social media shows you it. But if I was to walk back 200 years, 300 years from now, like in this specific location we're in right now, in Indiana, 300 years ago, do you think the people living here saw more or less death? Because, I think death has been something people have been aware of for so long, but now we've just like, it's over there. And I don't have to see it, and we know it happens, but it's not really part of our daily lives. Twitter's kind of bringing that back up. It's not fun, though. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's
watch
like
people getting shot.
I think there's good things about not witnessing death every, like.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But then also, like that's been.
I think the shock value is that like. That's not what I'm expecting first thing in the morning is this. Right. I guess no one's expecting to see death first thing in the morning, like regardless of the age.
It's a Friday morning. I'm going to watch a death. Yeah, that's...
It was so shocking to see. Like literally, I scroll past it and the next video is a car like skidding on ice and going sideways, going into another lane and having a semi full speed, no stopping at all.
Smash it.
Hit it so like perfectly on the side, like literally it's a white car, red semi, and then you see pink mist.
Oh wow,
like that person is obliterated.
Dude, what your feed's crazy.
I mean, all I do is follow comedians. Where'd that come from? I blame Shane Gillis.
Yeah, the comedians probably. Yeah, they're just watching weird stuff. That's wild. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell where a video's going. Yeah. A lot of times when on Twitter, and I'm just like, yeah, let's keep it moving. I don't really need to see that.
Yeah.
I've noticed that like if like not so much on Twitter, but on like YouTube or even Instagram or whatever, if you look at something for too long, then the next 20 posts are that thing. You know what I mean? What was it? It was, I'm trying to remember what the example was. I watched, it's ridiculous. This guy was he's like a old school medic. Like he cosplays as a medic. You know what cosplay is, right? Yeah. So he's, I mean,
like a reenactor,
and then he's just like this like wartime medic. It's like probably late 1800s medic, and he's got his
Sounds like he's got a lot of stuff going on.
Got a little patch, and he was talking about they had this when you would have a leg splint, and you'd have an issue. Like if you had you like in wartime, your leg would be messed up, and they didn't have a splint. 80% of the people who didn't have a splint would die. They built this little device, and it actually changed it because it elongated the leg, and so that the bleeding stopped because of the device that they put on. Yeah. And it switched from 80% death to 80% recovery if you got that thing on. So that's so I'm like, oh, that's really fascinating. And then the next 20 posts are just that, like his things. I'm like, okay, well, I looked at this way too long. It was interesting for a second, but now I'm like, I really don't care. Yeah, so maybe.
All I can think about is I remember seeing a post about a doctor who he holds this record for the most like deaths in one surgery.
Oh wow!
He was supposed to be this like. It was a time where they would have to saw off like
amputated. Yeah.
Yeah, he was amputating somebody. He was like in a like one of the big theaters, like how it used to be just this open pit.
Oh wow! Yeah.
You know, like a surgical theater or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all these people around him, and he has another guy holding this leg, and then he's holding the leg, and he's going to saw through the thing, and he saws through it so quickly that he cuts his own fingers off, or not. I think it was him. No, it was the
guy holding it.
He cuts the fingers off of the guy holding it, and then he successfully cuts off the leg, but both the guy that got his leg cut off and the helper both died of infection. Like
my word!
Shortly after the surgery.
Oh my word!
A 200% death.
Yeah, that's a while. Yeah. He just immediately kills two people, and everyone was watching. Mm-hmm. That's funny because I was watching butcher videos and the other day we ate lamb and it was delicious, and I'm like, do you think I could grow a lamb on my quarter acre in the downtown Goshen? And it takes 6 to 8 months, and then they're fully ready to be butchered. I was like, well, how hard it would be to butcher? And this guy that I was watching used old school. Instead of his bandsaw, he's like, well, here's the saw, pulls it out. So that's why I'm imagining the cuts as you're talking about it, because I watched that. But yeah, I don't think it's doable. But I've seen dogs bigger than lambs. So I'm like, if you can have a dog, why couldn't I have a sheep or a lamb in my backyard?
Big enough for that.
Yeah, I just gotta.
I've seen more lambs in smaller places.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure that my neighbors are all cool. I'm going to a neighbor meeting on Tuesday. This one of our neighbors is inviting us all over. I'll pitch that idea, see what happens.
Just stick it in your garage. Throw some sawdust down and put a fence in the garage.
I wanted to eat all of my grass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just keep grass down.
Here's how you do this, right? You keep it in the garage. As soon as it gets dark, let it out.
Oh, then it just goes ham. Okay.
There you go.
Dude, I've seen so much wildlife in my backyard. Yeah. I saw a woodchuck, like a big old woodchuck. Yeah. I had a possum, raccoons, cats, various squirrels and chipmunks and all types of birds.
You know what I was curious about? Why do people hate possums so much? Apart from their ugliness, they're like, there's this whole thing that they're like dirty animals. They're actually super clean, and they don't have any of the diseases people think they do.
Yeah, no. And they're actually like really good for your garden. Is what I was.
They keep pests out of your garden.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I have a core memory of being a young man and killing a possum.
Yeah.
Like a 11-year-old. Got a bow and arrow and shot it as it was playing dead. And then we weren't really sure. Then we dropped a rock on it. Nice. And then we took it out in the middle of a field and left it. We came back just to make sure it was dead. It was gone.
Uh-oh.
Like, crap.
Oh,
did we actually shoot
possum's life? Just a possum with an arrow.
And a crushed paw from the rock we dropped on. We climbed up on top of a fence. I was probably 8, to be honest. Climbed on top of a fence and put the rock and then dropped. Oh, gosh.
When I was a kid, we had these two large mulberry. I think it was mulberries.
Yeah.
The trees.
Mm-hmm.
And, like raccoons, constantly we'd
loved it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so every once in a while, we had these like a little like fox terriers. I think they were called some sort of terrier. So they would trap them onto the trees, and we would just go with like BB guns or like a .22 and just shoot the raccoons.
Nice. Yeah.
When it just gets dark, it was just something for us to do.
Those are a pest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opposed to possums, those are. Go ahead.
But I just remember the first time going out there, and like my dad hands me a gun. I mean, I might have held a gun, but I'd never shot one at that time. So, like, I don't know anything about guns, and my dad just hands me a rifle. He goes, all right, shoot the raccoon. I don't even know how to load it. Like, he just hands...
no.
Maybe the second time in my life I've ever held a gun.
Don't worry, there's no clip in it.
That's pretty much how it went, to be honest. 'Cause I just remember pointing, like, sort of aiming the barrel at the back of a raccoon and just kind of like eyes closed shooting it. And I ended up just shooting it in the butt like 6 times, just over and over again.
With the BB gun or with the 22?
It was a 22.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just continuing. I just keep shooting it in the butt, and I am just absolutely devastated. Like, I've started to cry because my dad's upset at me. Like, the more I shoot it, the angrier he gets because I'm just shooting it in the same spot over and over again. I'm having a full panic attack, and I shot it at least either 6 or 8 times.
Wow.
Before my dad just yanked the gun from me. Like, it was like 10 feet in the air.
Right.
Like, literally, I just remember being so upset because my dad takes the gun from me, flips it around, and then just, like, the trees weren't super tall. So he just took the butt of the gun and then was able to hit the raccoon on the top of the head with the butt of the gun. Kills it instantly.
You kept on shooting the butt, didn't kill it? I mean, 6 bullets to the butt. I feel like.
They're pretty big butts, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but 22s. But yeah, still. Yeah. That's interesting.
I just remember, why did you let me do this for so long when you could have done it just like that?
Yeah.
Why did you put me through this?
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. You probably killed a lot of animals in your day, right? You take out cows and pigs, and did you guys ever butcher sheep?
Yeah, they butchered sheep. Yeah. I never butchered sheep. I watched my dad do it a bunch of times. Not for me, dude.
Really? Yeah. Is it more difficult than cows?
Kind of.
I feel like cows are pretty. What's the easiest thing to butcher?
Cows.
Really?
Yeah. They're the easiest thing to process, but
really?
Sheep's are really hard because sheep's skin is very it's loose.
Oh, because you're killing the sheep and then skinning it and then...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, if you go through, like, the entire process, sheep's the worst because they're so small, you can't do it. Like, we would use, like, a bolt for, like, a cow or even, like, a pig.
Yeah.
But because sheep's are so small, their skulls are so small, it would... For whatever reason, the damage would be too great.
Okay.
So you just have to slit its throat.
Oh.
Which is the most disturbing thing you've ever seen in your life. We had these.
Oh, man.
I don't know how far you want to go down that road.
It gets real.
Well, I just remember as a kid because I would go out, like, I'd get out home from school or whatever, and we'd go to the shop for whatever reason.
Yeah, and hang out.
And I would just go out back and just watch. You know, I just thought it was fascinating.
Remembering the time you shot the raccoon.
But I just like going back there and like. My dad's got like a lamb by the throat, and he's like pretending to be Rambo, and he's just like going, "Ha!"
Oh my god!
Like, I don't know what to do here. Yeah, just giving himself the little eye things.
Yeah, the football eye, whatever that's called. I forget what that's. I think it's football eye. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's educational.
Yeah,
good after school program.
It was something.
Keep kids straight.
And I want everybody to know that I am emotionally and mentally okay. I promise. I'm not scarred at all.
No, not at all. Just a tad. All right, so I have a question about butchering now that I've watched one YouTube video and
you know it all. Yeah.
Pretty well versed. You kill the animal, then you skin it, and you put the carcass in a freezer. Is that to let it drain?
Well,
is that kind of how that? What's that process? Because most of the time when I see it in the videos, they've got the hanging meat, and then they process it from there. But it doesn't have any of the feet. It's just the insides are gone. It's just like the meat. Yeah. So how do they get to that?
So let's say if you did like a beef.
Okay.
Let's say you go through. I mean, you'd shoot it.
Yep.
And then it gets brought up to like my family's butcher shop has like a chain. It goes around the legs. Yeah. Brings it up.
Yep.
And then you would slit the throat and like drain all the blood out.
Right there. Okay.
It gets put on like a big like rack thing with wheels. That you lay it on its back, and then like that's where you skin it.
Oh, okay. And it's holding it.
Yeah. So like when you're skinning it, that's when you take the feet off.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So
Because
you
it's
kinda-
easier.
Yeah, it was because the joints are right there.
Yeah.
So you just pop off the joints.
Okay.
Skin around it, get all that, and then it goes back onto another like hook thing.
Okay.
There's a big thing that goes through their like leg tendons.
Yeah, and holds
Yeah.
them, and then that's where they're split
Yeah,
open
so
a little bit.
So it's
And is that where you're gutting them? Too?
yeah. So it's still full there, and then we had like you just kind of go in with a knife, and then like kind of push all of the like, I guess you'd call them innards
Yeah.
out, and then that gets like put into like I guess they call them gut barrels, but like a
Yeah.
receptacle for
Yep. A big
Yeah.
gallon drum that you throw.
yeah, like a 55-gallon drum thing.
Which they then use to make little
Yeah.
Caesar sausage. Go ahead. Yeah.
Probably.
Right to this little Caesar sausage
Ooh,
flame.
gross.
Gross.
But
Then it freezes.
well, they say do that, and then they split it in half, and
Okay.
you gotta clean it pretty well after that. So it's like it's hosed down
Okay.
until it's like there's no blood left.
Hmm.
'Cause if you have any blood left, it could like
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
get bad.
Yeah, well, like when like blood kind of congeals in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could ruin the fat or the meat or whatever.
Yeah. It could
So-
be.
It gets washed
Get
pretty good, and then it
infected.
goes into a cooler first.
Okay.
Because most of the time, if not all the time, depending on the animal, like I know cows, it's pretty common to age them for
Oh, yeah.
I want to say 2 weeks.
Mm.
You know, but just because you at that time because there's a lot of the enzymes and like bacteria that's
Break
still
it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a
It
lot
breaks
less.
down the meat a little bit, so it's more tender. I mean,
Yeah.
you could eat it fresh. It just I don't know. For whatever reason, there's like
They do dry age.
Yeah.
And then the longer they dry age, the more it's
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they say they do that on certain cuts, like
Mm-hmm.
you know,
the rib eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
or prime rib stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for like on average, it's pretty like industry standard to like 2 weeks.
Okay. So that's in the cooler.
Yeah, so that sits in the cooler, and then it comes out, and they cut it up, make all the steaks.
And the cooler is it a freezer or is it like
So
they're
like
not frozen yet, but
Yeah.
kind of close to it?
well, no, so it'd be like the difference between like a fridge and the freezer upstairs.
Yeah.
so it's like
more of a fridge.
yeah, so like I don't, 30, 40 degrees maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
not 40, closer to 30.
Yeah. But not freezing,
Yeah, not quite freezing,
but close to it.
but yeah. Like I mean, it's just a giant fridge, like
Yeah.
something you could keep vegetables in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right next to your
Yeah,
carcasses.
sometimes you keep it fresh, but allows it to age for a little bit, so it's not like hard to cut into when it gets to the point where it's time to make all the cuts.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like, because then they have like at my family shop that goes from there, and then when it's cut, it gets put into an actual freezer that's like a Sub-Zero.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because now you're opening it up and a lot of bacteria can kind of live
Yeah. Oh yeah.
at that point. So, yeah. Yeah. You interesting. I wondered because the carcasses that I saw were stiff. They're not, but they're still flexible. But it's not like they're not like just died and then
Yeah, it is kind of neat though to see that like when they're first butchered, the like how much like water retention is in like the fat.
Mm.
You know, it's very soft and flexible and kind of thing like that. And just in 2 weeks, it's like it looks like it's like it almost feels like the consistency of like frozen butter.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. The water's been drained out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. No. Thank you for that educational bit there. Appreciate that.
I was supposed to remind you something about dopamine.
Yeah. So, this kind of goes back to I got two things. So, you talk about you open up that phone and you get that hit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been wanting to do that physically, not with drugs. Well, some could say it's a drug. I stumbled in this rabbit hole of old, like 1930s, 1920s slot machines. Like the mechanical ones.
That was
you
not
know?
where I thought this was going.
I know. You check with me. They'll spin and then you get the cherries and it pays out. And they're like 10 cents, 5 cents, quarters. It's nothing crazy. You put a quarter in and then the most you can win is $10.
Yeah.
Right? Or whatever. Put 10 cents in, the most you can win is 5. So and slots are interesting because they're like 13% chance of winning.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you're going to win. So it's really low odds. but you get that little like, ooh, that's fun, which we get from our phone every single day. People are gambling. They're just waiting for that next post that's like, whoa. And sometimes you have to scroll for 13 minutes before you get one. It's not that great. And you scroll for another 13 minutes, you're like, whoa, that was a good one. It's literally the same thing, and not really, but kind of. But I've been trying to pitch it to Allison as an investment idea.
To buy old-timey slot machines?
Just one. Just one.
Just for entertainment value?
Just for entertainment value. So bear with me. One, they're not making, they're these like iron mechanical devices. They don't want the electronic. I want them pull the handle. It's a big machine, which is very intricate to build. It's an antique, so it has value there, right? And I was talking to her. I'm like, we don't have a ton of change anyways, but it'd be fun to like every time we have change, put it in there. But I'm like, what if we even had a rule about the slot machine that you can only put in like silver nickels or silver dimes or silver quarters? So then in order to
see, I just have this image of you buying one old-timey slot machine and it immediately turned into a small casino in the basement. You just have like a bunch of elderly Chinese businessmen smoking cigarettes and just constantly pulling the levers.
I mean, that could be fun. Or it could just be me.
That could be fun.
It could be me.
Just you by yourself, like white beater.
Smoking cigarette. And I only have a roll of silver nickels. I mean, I gotta get one. I gotta win. But I just thought it would be kind of fun because then it's like almost like a quest to get these items because you don't get silver very often, and then it's like a chance to win. But it's so much to be able to.
But
put
at
it
some
in.
point, there's also the realization that you're just winning things. You're winning the thing that you put in there.
Right. What I would do is I would pull that back into the all my money's going right back into the slot.
So it's just this endless cycle of silver nickels.
Yeah. Right. But at the end of it, you have an old antique and a bunch of silver. That'd be a fun thing to leave in like a dusty basement for like an ancestor. 2 generations. They're like, look at all this silver. And at that point, silver is like millions of dollars, or whatever. But then you're getting really old coins, and then you're also putting it in an old machine. And I just thought that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. So that leads me to my second thing. While we're talking about gambling, I watched this movie last night. One of my buddies, Scott Engbrick, who I don't know if you know him, he told me, "Have you seen this?" I was like, "No." He's like, "You need to watch this. It's called Holy Rollers." Have you watched this? It's on Amazon Prime.
Holy Rollers.
It's based on a group in 2007 of pastors, worship leaders, ministry level people who played blackjack and counted cards and made money from it. And it's a kind of like a documentary-esque style about these guys. Really interesting. Just like high-level card counting, money-making things. And so it was just really fascinating to kind of see the justification of why they're gambling.
Yeah, I'd love to hear their reasoning behind it.
I think some people were like fascinated with the idea of gambling. They thought it was fun. Other people so it was interesting to kind of see each person, and they follow them for like 2 years. And so did
they make some like actual money, or
they pulled from the casino $3.5 million.
Now, what did they do with this money?
So the way that was set up, I'm just giving it away to everyone. So,
the way it happened was with the bank account and the way the numbers work.
Yeah. They ended it, so they stopped after 2 years.
Yeah.
But they had investors who would invest, and they would bankroll them to go play. And with that, then they would play. And with counting cards, it's a pretty big mathematical equation that they're doing, and the statistics then go in the blackjack player's favor, 55% to 45%. So currently, like if I was to play blackjack and not count cards, I have a 45% 43% chance of winning, something like that. If I play blackjack the best without counting the cards, just like the best you can play at blackjack, if I know how to play it really well and I do all the things I'm supposed to do in the right scenarios without counting cards, I have a 40% chance of winning. So over the long run, you lose. They flip it over, they're counting cards, and then they have a slighter advantage. So that doesn't mean that when they go and play blackjack that they're going to win every single time. But if they continue to play blackjack for a long enough time, eventually they'll win. So that's the thing. So you watch them, and they go on a week-long trip where they go, flew into Chicago, hits the casinos in Chicago, hits the casinos in Michigan, goes to Minnesota, goes to Wisconsin, doing a whole loop, and loses $80,000 that whole trip. Oh, wow. But he knows if he keeps on playing, eventually he'll win it all back. So like and you watch these people just like get wrecked by losing for so long too, and like that's the gambling thing. So at the end of it, they pulled $3.5 million, $800,000 went to the two people who started the group, and then the rest of the profits went to pay back their investors, and then their investors got 35% return on their investment. Oh wow! Yeah, it is the grand finale. So it's just really interesting, and there was a godly bent to it because they're all ministry people, and so I'm like, oh, that's really
fascinating.
Yeah, it was just wild to kind of watch.
Borderline blasphemous, but all right.
Yeah, and their justification was, they're getting over on the casinos because they're high level.
In my head, this money's going back to the churches, but it isn't, is it?
No, it's going to the investors.
Well, yeah.
But then the people who are doing ministry, they only work 40 hours. They'll go on 1 or 2 trips in a month, and then they get paid. So the way that the people who are running it, people playing blackjack, they are getting paid hourly to play blackjack. And then if they win $100,000, then they get a bonus. So it's not their money. They're not the ones putting it up. They're just going in and playing blackjack per hour.
Getting paid to lose. That's fascinating.
Yeah, or win after a while.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying like that. So that first initial round of losses has to be like.
Well, they could win for a while, but if you play 2 years straight, you're going to have a string of losses. You're going to have a string of wins. It's going to go both ways. Yeah.
Well, I'm just that's pretty cool.
Holy Rollers on Amazon Prime. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. If I'm gonna go play blackjack, I'm gonna go play for fun. You know what I mean? I like the.
See, I can't do that.
Really?
And I know like 1 or 2 card games, like Texas Hold'em,
right?
Like a couple of like the smaller versions of that. Other than that, I stay away from any sort of gambling because last time I went to a casino, I had a panic attack in the middle of the slot machine floor.
Yeah, no, slots are the worst thing to do.
I was down like $20, and I'm just like shaking in the middle of the floor, about to crawl in the fetal position and be dragged.
Well, if you
out.
win 13 or 17% of the time, you have to have enough money to play until you win, and then hope that your win is big enough to recover your losses. You could win $20, but you just spent $400 to win that 20. And you're like, okay, well, that wasn't a big enough win. I know if I play another 7 hands, 8 hands, I might win again, and maybe that'll be big enough. It's just
It's like I have to go. I don't ever go in, if I go in to a casino with more than $40 because that is what I'm most comfortable losing.
That's the best way to do it.
To me, that's me going out and getting a decent enough dinner and maybe seeing a movie or something. Right. So that I can stomach losing that amount of money.
But don't go to a slot machine because that's 2 pulls, which is 3 seconds of your life. That's not worth it.
And there's nothing more frustrating when you go with a group of people and there's always one person goes to the very first machine. As soon as they walk in, boom, win some jackpot amount or some large amount. When you could be there for 20 minutes and lose it all
quickly. I've done I put $20. One time I had to stop. I was with Scott, the guy who sent that video. We had to stop. We're on a business trip and we stopped to go to the bathroom on the way up to a meeting. He's like, let's just stop at the casino. I'm like, all right, cool. Because they got nice bathrooms. So we just rolled in and then peed and rolled out. But I'm like, all right, one slot machine. So I threw $20 in and it was just gone. I'm like, well, okay, let's keep going. You know what I mean? It just, I'm okay with losing $20. It was unfortunate. But if I go to a casino, my rule is I don't go to very many. It's like,
yeah, I don't need it.
It's just not. It's not the like.
It's just like that's a once in a blue moon thing.
Yeah, like one of my cousins was having you know what I mean? Like,
it's like a bachelor party or
or a couple of old college buddies who were like, let's do something, and then we all went to a casino. That was kind of fun. They got a hotel and we all just hung out at the casino.
I think it's pretty. Honestly, being kind of fun going to like my uncle. He loves casino. Him and his girlfriend always going to the casino, and he's just lucky. He's just a lucky person. So he's always went like
probably counts cards.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple. I mean, I'm sure he's had plenty of losses, but there's been plenty of times where he's like, won like 10, 11 grand or something like that. Yeah. Just playing like the slot
you
machines
only ever hear the wins.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You don't ever hear the losses. No one's.
Well, I mean, I saw this guy pick a scratch off the ground. Scratch one of the last things off and win $500.
Wow.
He's just a lucky guy.
Wow, that's wild.
Me, on the other hand, I will lose my money and then my things. I lost my favorite hat the last time I went to the casino. And I'm still upset about it. I've called 4 wins and I've demanded they give me back my raggedy old hat.
Oh man, that's frustrating. Yeah, that's not fun. I play roulette. That's the most enjoyable. I feel like
that's what gave me a panic attack.
Roulette.
It was so.
All you have to choose is red or black, or you can do odds or evens.
I was down. I'd lost all the $40, and I'm like, it's time to go. Because every time I've gone with my family, I don't think we've ever been there longer. Like, we've never made it to an hour because either people get bored or like we've done what we needed to do, so let's leave. Yeah. Well, like we're there like 20 minutes. I've lost all my money, and like, I might have had like $5 left. And my brother comes up to me and he goes, all right, I'm gonna give you this. He hands me a little bit of cash. We give you this along with your money, and we're gonna put it all on red. And for some reason, that triggered me because I'm I'm freaking out because I just
you just lost it all.
Did
you
like,
put it on red? Yeah. Did it hit black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it didn't hit black. It hit red. So we made money.
Oh,
but
nice.
For some reason it triggered me because I just I had $5 left. It was only $40.
Yeah.
And I brought that money that specific amount so it wouldn't bother me. And for some reason it just got to me. And then my brother was instantly poking me
keep going.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm all of a sudden things just started getting fuzzy and the tunnel vision came and then I'm just started shaking. I'm I can't do this.
For $40. It's crazy. You really, if you go to that casino, take exactly the amount of cash you want, and don't. And once you lose it, you're done.
Don't ever pull money out of their ATMs.
Yeah, don't ever do it. That's where it gets sad. Like, I can win this back. I can win this back.
Oh, yeah.
You're
you just keep going.
No.
You see, I could do that. I could see myself doing that. So it's.
I was working at a bank in college, and there's a local bank to the area of the college that I went to, and I get in on a Monday morning, and there's a voicemail at 2 a.m. on Saturday night or Friday night or something. No, Saturday night or Sunday night. I forget what night it was. And it's this drunk guy screaming at us, the bank, because at 2:30 in the morning on Saturday night or Sunday, I forget whatever night it was, we had an ATM limit. So if someone pulls out more than $500 or $1,000, I forget what it is, that's just the limit of a card. Every card kind of has that. It's a safety precaution because we don't want your card to be stolen and then your bank account completely drained.
Oh yeah.
So he's screaming at us because he reached his limit and didn't ever open it up more before he went to the casino.
Yeah.
And he's yelling at the bank about how we ruined his kids' nights because of the limit on his debit card. I love it. Was such a fun. I was just like, dude, oh man,
what a life.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine calling a bank at 2 a.m. to scream at them.
It's the bank's fault I don't have them.
Yeah, it's the bank's fault. It's the bank's fault that this is an awful vacation. It's the bank's fault. screaming at my little kid.
I want my kids to spend more of my money.
Yeah, no. We were going to go to the water park, but not today because of the bank. You know? Yeah.
No, we're sitting in the hotel.
Yeah. Dad may not come home tonight. Because of the bank.
Dad's going out for cigarettes. Because of the bank.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, dude. Oh, man. That's what I think of every time I see something. Like, if you are walking up to pull money out of the ATM, I'm just like, you're that guy about to call the bank because there goes all your money. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to pay your rent. It's just a losing game. So that's the philosophy of going to the casino. But yeah. Dopamine, man. So I just think, I should, they're on my, it's on my phone. There's some really cool old, like, vintage slot machines.
Oh,
that's why I'm like,
looking, huh?
I've been looking, you know. I just think it'd be kind of cool. They're like, there's certain ones that are like, they're like multiple grand to purchase. So I'm like,
Oh, wow. Like the big, I mean, that is pretty cool. Like the big metal thing with all the like mechanical parts.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, and I was, so I'm looking at, I'm like, I got a little too far into the rabbit hole. I joined a group on Facebook that just like shares all of the ones that they bought of these old mechanical ones. So that's where I'm seeing all the cool stuff. And it's just like people who are like into it. It's their hobby. And this one guy's like, hey, this isn't paying out right. This machine I bought. So the whole like group is explaining to this dude how to fix his machine. They're like, yeah, you just got to pull this pin that's in there. Just pull it out because that pin right there is a casino pin. They put that in so that it never hits these high level rewards. It'll only ever hit these ones. Like they're like, they put these in these old mechanical ones. They had this little like physical pin that they would put in so that it made sure to never hit. It would pay out, but it would never pay out the top jackpot. Never.
It's crazy how they can openly like cheat people. Yeah, and that's fine.
And that's what they're talking about on
some guy learns to count cards and like, get out.
Well, and yet that's what they do. If they think you're counting cards, you get kicked out, or they take you to the back room and they're like, ooh, because they're playing blackjack and they're beating the house, you know, and they're like, well, we're losing money, but all their whole business is on making everyone else lose their money.
Yeah,
you know, and then once they have it, they don't like it, and so kind of interesting. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna. I didn't mean to backtrack, but
backtrack.
Well, you had said something earlier about me sending text messages when I got. I was like waiting.
I want to hear it.
I found one of them. I said most days.
Wait. This is when first Fridays.
Yeah.
This is the text you send me.
Yeah.
When I'm gone. What was this? The November? Is this November?
This is the one. Where
November 1st. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the 3rd. It's November
3rd. Okay. Yeah, because it's a Friday. It's the first Friday of the month.
November 3rd, 7:15 p.m. Most days I love this city, but on nights like tonight, I hope it burns to the ground. I'm literally about to shit my pants. I had to park all the way at the church by your house because it's the only open parking space I could find. As it stands right now, if this city was a dog, I'd send it straight to the front of the line of a kill shelter.
You were pretty livid. Yeah, I was not in Indiana at that time, so I feel bad.
Like you texted me, oh poor puppy, and I said, poor puppy, my ass. This city is a 3-legged, one-eyed Chihuahua hiding in the shade of a sketchy street food vendor in Tijuana. Yesterday, I was 711 days no pooping my pants. Today, 0.
I can just imagine that sign. Yeah. You know, how many days since an accident?
Oh.
How many days since Phil's pooped his pants? 755. And then 0.
I got a light bright in my house that marks it.
There was a girl in college. She had a poop chart.
Interesting.
So she would, like, I don't know if I've talked about this, but she would, at the college I went to, we had a thing called open dorms. So the dorms were segregated because it was a Christian college, and but every other Saturday, one Saturday it'd be boys' dorms are open, one Saturday it'd be girls' dorms are open. Girls could come into the guys' dorms, or guys could go into the girls' dorms for 4 hours on that Saturday. So one of my friends, she lives with a bunch of other girls. I go over and see her on that Saturday. there I find the poop chart. Poop chart has pictures, like animated pictures, so not like live, but just like clip art pictures of different types of poops, whether it's pebbles or more diarrhea or more solid, right? And then marks, and then dates of when so there's like a, she has these boxes and it's like, so there's a good poop today. At this time I did this, and there's like, in a month she can say, oh, I had 20 of these, 3 of these, 2 of those, 1 of those. What is it?
That's
like,
intense. That's an intense way to live.
That's my poop chart. I'm like, that is interesting. Yeah.
Some would say a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, I maybe I've never really analyzed like that. She's using the scientific method, and there's probably something that she knows about herself more than I know about myself. Maybe I could learn from that. Maybe I need.
Well, see, but here's the thing that bothers me. It's not that it bothers me, but here's the thing I'm thinking about when I think of this.
Yeah.
Right, like,
it was the first time I ever figured out women actually poop. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait, you tell me.
Women?
Yeah. I was like, it blew my mind.
Like, I feel like I can regularly do that, like on a normal everyday basis. Or like, oh, I had this kind of,
Yeah.
movement. I should probably I should change this so that it doesn't happen again, or I should keep doing this because that was this thing like that.
Right.
I can do those things without having a public chart. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's one thing if you're like keeping it in like a journal or. I mean,
it wasn't
that long ago, so keeping it in a phone. But like,
public.
Here is out in the open for a stranger to see the types of poos that I be having.
And a young man walked into my room.
Just a
he
young
now
man.
knows my movements.
A young man who just recently found out that I do poop.
Walks into my room. Join the movement.
Join the movement.
One man. One movement.
I don't know where this came from. This just popped in my head.
Let's go there.
Okay, so today I was talking. I try to talk to my brother at least once a day. I usually call him around noon. 'Cause he drives trucks, so
Oh, nice. Okay.
when he's out on his deliveries and he's got some time, I'll just chat with him for a few minutes. And he was telling me that he had recently sat down with his mother-in-law and they rewatched The Tiger King
Oh, wow. Okay.
series.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that, and so that got us talking about. I mean, that in itself.
was wild.
What a fascinating thing to watch.
Yeah.
But that got us talking about the different things that we had, because there was nothing to do but like watch movies or hang out with your family members. So mostly watching movies.
Right. Yeah.
So we were just discussing the thing, like the different documentaries and stuff we had watched, and one thing that brought up, I had randomly watched this documentary with my dad and my stepmom about a guy who had he'd gone to a garage sale and bought an old grill. Takes the grill home, opens it up. There is a calcified, maybe not calcified, but a fully calcified is the word because it hadn't been when he first
like a
got
mummy.
It was a yeah, there we go. I couldn't think of the word. A mummified foot in a human's mummified foot in the grill. Just a random foot.
Was it on top?
Inside, it was like an old, one of those,
A smoker?
Yeah, it was like a smoker type grill, but like a real, an old one from the 90s.
Okay.
Something like that. Maybe not the 90s, but
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, older.
And it's he opens up and there's a human foot in there.
He didn't see it when he was at the garage sale?
No, he never opened it up. He just it was probably just here's a grill for $20 kind of thing. So I'll take it, and then gets it home, realizes there's a foot in there. What does he do? Well, the most logical thing you can do when you find a human foot, he sets up a sign and makes it a roadside attraction so people can come look at it.
What?
Foot. Yeah, mummified foot.
What?
Yeah, it's the most. You have to. I almost don't want to reveal too much because it is the most
Did the law get involved?
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, they didn't. It's I guess wherever he was at, it's not against the law
to have a modified foot.
Yeah. So he has his foot, and he decides he doesn't go to the police or try to get rid of it or bury it or anything. He makes it a roadside attraction so people could pay to come look at this foot. And it's somebody's foot who at the time is alive. So he just has somebody's foot.
No way.
Yeah.
Was it the person at the garage sale?
No. Somehow it had changed hands because it was just in this grill. It had changed a number of hands until it got to this guy.
The person didn't use the grill, or they did, and there was just a foot.
If I remember correctly, it was hours away. It wasn't right down the road.
How do you buy a grill and not use it and not figure out there's a foot and then sell it to someone else? I'm so confused. I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just fascinating to see this guy. He was, as he's it's one of those documentaries where you think, it's about this foot.
Right.
But it is it just dives deeper into the persona of this guy in particular, how he is so obsessed with becoming a famous person.
Yeah.
That he'll do anything. So it's his whole identity is, I'm the guy with the foot.
Yeah. I'm the foot guy. Uh-huh. Show feet.
Just
right here. Yeah. I show feet.
I've got this foot. Come, take a look at it. Yeah. Give me money.
Yeah. Did he make some money?
He must have.
They made a movie about it.
Yeah.
That's wild. Uh-huh. Yeah, dude, the amount of stuff that we watched back in COVID. Crazy times. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was listening to a comedian talk about, you may have heard this too. I think it was Shane. He was talking about how weird it was to think about COVID, how funny it is if you just start walking the timeline COVID breaks from a Chinese lab. No. Don't. That's racist. Don't talk about that. Yeah. It came from Chinese eating a bat.
Because that's somehow better.
Yeah, that's not racist. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. The most racist thing.
The most logical thing is not that it came from a lab, but because some guy ate a bat.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't been doing that before.
Yeah, but they had now. Yeah.
This one guy just decides to sit down and try a bat for the first time.
A penguin bat, or whatever. Half penguin, half bat. Yeah.
The old penguin bat.
Yeah, it's just oh my goodness. Yeah, it's crazy when you start looking at just what happened during that time. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, we're past it. We're way past it, but it still feels weird. You feel that was a you go around a bend and you can't see the past anymore. That, that was the turning of something.
This is true. It was also. Obviously, it's different for everybody. I just remember because I was working at the butcher shop. Yeah. And that was, what they considered
essential.
Essential because it was a food-related thing. So, I was making, everybody around me is, having to rely on the government, and here I'm just getting paid in cash nonstop, and everybody I see is handing me cash because I'm loading people's meat for them because they don't want to get out of the car, and I open the door and here's a wad of cash. I just had I had a
gobs of cash.
I had a trunk full of cash at one point, just crumpled up dollar bills. I just more cash than I've ever seen in my life, and at a time where people are struggling to. They're how
no
are we going to
paycheck for a month? Yeah,
how are we going to provide for our family to do this? And I'm looks like I'm buying more electronics.
Yeah,
just absolutely oblivious to what's happening around me.
Yeah,
and it was no different. I was staying at my dad's house. We just we watched TV,
kept working, hanging out,
drank a little bit, played some board games, bought electronics. That was me for 2 years.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, you guys were so busy.
We were very busy.
I remember it was at one point it was 2 years out before someone could butcher something.
Still is.
Really? It's that far out?
They are super busy, yeah.
Really? Well, is it just because there's not that many people butchering?
Yeah,
what is?
That was because of the COVID stuff. Because
some of the bigger stuff stopped?
Well, no, it wasn't because there was some of that to a certain degree, but because they relied so much on the bigger stuff, the smaller stuff started disappearing. So there was not super close, but there was a lot of, I guess maybe not a lot, but there was a decent amount of places that people could go. And they were either shutting down or just like,
Quitting.
closing up shop and calling it good. Like it was
Really?
happening all over the place.
Pre-COVID or right during COVID?
Like in the midst of all of it.
Really?
Because for whatever reason they just couldn't stay in business.
Huh.
And so like that just dumped
All
even
onto
more
you.
business on us because we were staying open, which is still I don't quite understand because it's like in the midst of all that, like I'm not going to go to a grocery store because it's a grocery store. They're going to skyrocket. That's exactly what it is. Skyrocket prices because everybody needs it.
Yeah.
Like that. Meanwhile, like even to like now, like the price of like not to be inside baseball here, but like the price of like burger, for example, literally it's my family shop is half as much as what you get at anywhere else. And it was like I don't understand where those prices make sense.
Yeah. Why are they? It's just because they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really interesting. Well, I wonder if part of it is like people. There's some security to when you butcher something and then it's now in your freezer and they don't have to worry about going to a store where the store kind of broke down a little bit where there was supply chain issues. Never really heard that until COVID. And so you have supply chain issues and it's like, well, can I even get burger from the store now? I'll just go buy a cow and get that butchered. At least I know it's in my freezer. I don't have to worry about a thing.
There was a lot of things that, speaking of the whole, like, it was somebody eating it back, like the whole like nonsensicalness of it all, where like there was places that were like big, let's say big cattle ranches or big like pork producers.
Yeah.
Were just like
Killing.
They were just slaughtering their own stuff and like dumping them in ditches because they couldn't sell them because the bigger places were shutting down. So it was just like this whole like cutoff of like the demand is obviously skyrocketing because people are at home, like just the access to food has like dwindled, but like the means to get it there, just like it just didn't make any sense to me. Or it was it was just like somebody slapping a hand down. It was like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop that and make it impossible. So you're just like people. It was so much waste.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing that constantly. It's just like, let's just make it impossible to do the simplest things for what turns out to be no real reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did eat a penguin bat.
Well, yeah.
That's an important fact to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I learned anything from South Park, there was a pangolin involved.
Yeah. Have you seen the new movie?
Yeah.
I have. Is it good? The Pandaverse?
Yeah.
Is it Pandaverse?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
It's pandered.
Is it really?
Very pandering.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Did you see the new comedy that came out by the Daily Wire? Daily Wire is like Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. It's this movie called Lady Ballers. And yeah, I don't know.
Lady Ballers.
Lady Ballers.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's a triggering comedy is what they call it.
Is it triggering?
I don't know. It comes out tonight, or it premiered about an hour ago. I saw an ad for it. I was like, oh, interesting. I don't know. I just heard a couple things. Be interesting to see because like comedies, in one way, comedy's doing great, but comedies, as in the film comedies, are doing awful. Like I've not seen a good funny comedy in a while. I don't think. I've seen some really funny comedy specials.
And that's the thing is I mean, obviously there's a huge difference between a comedy special and like a comedy movie. Mm-hmm. But it was just like you said, the Daily Wire. It's a, in some way,
conservative talk show.
In some way or another, it's connected politically to something else. It's not just a comedy.
Yeah.
It's not just here's this funny thing that I made. It's like
there's
a meaning behind it.
Yeah, it's gonna push some intrinsic value on you.
Well, it's like the big push of like Christian films now all of a sudden because like the Jesus movement did good, so we're just gonna start pushing these movies. Or like everybody loves The Chosen, so we're pushing out these movies like they're candy.
Yeah,
and just like
well, I mean, they did that with Facing the Giants. Did you watch that? And
but those movies rock.
The Facing the Giants.
Yeah, Facing Giants. That was a staple of my childhood. Facing
what
the
was
Giants,
the other one?
Courageous. There was a couple different other ones.
A couple of them, yeah. It's tough because it's like when you get into the Christian stuff, it's like, I mean, I understand what they're doing, but then sometimes I feel like they're pandering to an audience too. Mm-hmm. Like they're just trying to extract money. Like, why not just make a movie that has Christian values, but isn't a Christian movie? Like inherently a Christian movie, just like a movie, like, wow. And then you're like, whoa, that's a amazing movie.
Yeah. It just happens to be
Christian music. I'm like, I'd rather listen to really good music from a Christian artist, but not know he's a Christian. Then it's like, oh wow, I'm hearing things about God in this great musical person, but it's not in the genre of.
Yeah.
Why do I have to go to this genre to get? It just feels like I can only listen to this subset of whatever, and that's what I feel like with Christian movies. Though I do understand why they do it in some ways, but in other ways,
there's an occasional gem.
That's like Katy Perry, right? She was a Christian artist, and she got semi-famous. I don't know how famous she got, but then she switched over and got even way bigger.
Yeah,
it's like, so like, is her music that she made then, is it still Christian music? Because she's definitely not a Christian now that I know of. I can't judge. I know Katy Perry might be a Christian. I doubt it, but it's when you look at fruit, but it's like, so was her old stuff Christian? If she's no longer a Christian? Or let's flip that around. Like, what if there's someone that just makes awful music? Let's say Eminem. Eminem has made a ton of awful music, ton of okay music, but I would say predominantly non-Christian. But he came out with a song that he remixed Kanye West's. I mean, Kanye West is another great example, right? He does this whole Jesus album. Well, if he's a Christian, then is his old stuff acceptable to listen to now because he was a Christian? You know what I mean? It's just like, why do we have to have genres, bro? It just is, it's dumb.
Let's go off on a tangent.
If Jesus was a rapper and a movie producer, would his movies be in the Christian genre, or they would be outside of that?
Yeah. Well, that makes me wonder, because so I watched a docu-series. Maybe it was like a limited series about...
Jesus was a rapper. Go ahead.
Jesus. Well...
I answered it. I answered my question. The docu-series you're watching.
Well, so it was about... what are they called? There was a pastor guy. Something Hillsong?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like that,
made all the music.
Yeah, and
Christian music.
Yeah, like
in Australia,
responsible for
California. One of the two.
So one of the pastors, it was like his whole like shtick was he was like friends with a bunch of celebrities, including like Justin Bieber or whatever.
Yeah.
And he gets caught having an affair
with a Muslim woman.
Yeah. So,
what was that? I don't know if that's Hillsong, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, so he was connected to them. So the guy who the Australian dude who started Hillsong is directly related to that church.
Oh, interesting.
So the church is called Hillsong, and the Hillsong movement is like a separate thing, but it's connected to that church.
Yeah, like a sub ministry.
So we'll just say it's the ministry part of that church. They just kind of like
music.
The music is. I mean, it's not separate, really.
It's not, but it's its own entity.
It's its own entity.
Right, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But
they're doing their own thing.
More people would recognize the music part of it because it was so popular compared to like the actual churches. Even though there's like they had large like mega churches and like they did it in like
New York,
big areas, New York, LA, and Australia, and a bunch of other places.
Yeah,
maybe one in Dallas. So anyway, the reason I bring that up is because it makes me think is that like I can't imagine being a person going to one of those. Like, let's say you're not a Christian, you go to that. Or to one of those sermons, have a life-changing experience, become a Christian, and then a week later, the same dude who who was Simpson, who could have been a catalyst
to making that decision for you.
Yeah, to help to push you into that decision is now like this evil person who gets kicked out of the church and things like that.
Yeah,
does that mean none of it's real?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why you don't put your faith in humans. That's where I'm at. True. I mean, there's a lot of messed up people that at one point I'm like, oh man, they've got a lot of good stuff, and when they die, you find out, or they make mistakes. But humans make mistakes all the time. That's what I learned when I went to Christian college. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. Be around a bunch of Christians. I'm like, no, this was the wrong decision. you were talking about Hillsong, it reminded me of something I heard. This is probably 8 years old. And it was a conversation I had 8 years ago with someone who was talking about this. So it's may or may not be fact. Okay, so let me just say that. I'm prefacing it there.
Right.
Okay, but they were saying about, they heard that some of the Hillsong music people, they were part of their ministry, they have interns who would come and do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that their interns were taught or were talking about or they heard about that the interns were doing, where they would go and they would lay on the grave of a famous like preacher, musician, or whatever, and try to embody. Yeah, or at least just they used the passage where is it Isaiah? No, Elijah. Yeah. Elijah goes up. He gives his cloak to Elisha, and it's like double portion. You can do what I do, and
using
more.
Scripture to do a little necromancy. Right.
Yeah. Which I mean, in Scripture, it definitely says, "Do not do necromancy."
Yeah,
which is wild. Where you're reading a Bible and it says it's a rule not to do it, which means it's doable. That's the other weird thing to think about. Right? Necromancy. If the Bible is saying do not do necromancy, that's one of the laws. Like they're not like it's not like if I believe, like a lot of people will just believe the Bible's full of a bunch of rules. I think there's a lot of stuff that they did that they just knew. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to separate when I do my wash. I'm going to separate my whites and my blacks and wash. You know what I mean, or whatever.
Well, just like the whole concept of not mixing the fibers in your clothes, which is like even throughout my childhood, it was like it's such a weird thing.
Yeah, there's something to it.
There's something weird thing, but it was that parenting class. I never thought, like, so I looked that up.
How did we hear about that?
Well, see, Aaron had brought it up, I think, in one of the question parts of the parenting class. She was,
I've been known about this.
Yeah, see, this is the first time I heard about it. I thought that was fascinating because everything has to make sense to a certain degree. I mean, there's a reason why it's there.
Yeah. Do you want to explain that a little bit so the listeners?
Well, just that each both. Like I said, you had cotton and
the rule in the Bible is not to mix linens
and
wear one type of fur when you're wearing it.
Yeah.
Don't mix it, and then
this is because everything has its own frequency, a certain degree. So these two things have let's say a healthy frequency or a good frequency where when they're put together, it's a bad frequency.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just fascinating to realize that there's something to that. It's just because you think all your life, I'm it's kind of a weird thing. I mean, we don't technically have to follow it, so I'm not really going to put any attention to it. But there's a reason for it. It didn't just. It's not like you just
there's a deeper level of info back there. Yeah, and then you think about, I heard that I have no legit clue if this is legit or not, but the biggest pores on your body are on the bottom of your feet, and then we put socks on our feet, and those socks are nylon. Do you know what nylon is?
No.
So I was hanging out with Allison, and we decided to look up what nylon is. They literally take plastic and heat it up and fluff it.
Yeah.
And fluff it so much that it turns into a wool. It turns into a wool, but it's just plastic, recycled plastic, like Sprite bottle plastics, and then you're just wearing that all day long, and your body's absorbing it. Frequency and plastics, But when you buy one type of clothing, so if you're 100% cotton or 100% linen or 100% silk or whatnot, it is way it's more difficult to wash because there's certain things you can't do. They're a little more delicate. Yeah. You need to know how to maintain these things. If you have cotton, 100% cotton, you cannot. I mean, you can, but you don't run it in the dryer on high heat. You run it on low because high heat will make it rip a lot easier. low will make it durable. Like stuff like that. So you even like if you start to walk down that path, there's so much more you gotta know. It just makes your life way more complicated. Where if it's just nylon mixed cotton, you can just throw it in and whatever. You don't have to worry about it.
You know, this is kind of going off topic here, but it's not technically.
I mean, we've been off topic. It's all
fair
good.
enough. I just remember the first time I had to do like when I was a senior in high school. One of my jobs, like one of my chores, was I did the laundry. So every Thursday, I grabbed everybody's laundry in these big baskets. I went to the laundromat, did all the laundry all at once. And you know, my 17-year-old head is like, I'm not separating anything. It's all going into the biggest washer.
Yeah.
We're washing this all at once. I'm getting out of here in 2 hours quick.
Yeah.
No problems. And then, like, I remember doing it for the first time, like, folding clothes, not thinking anything, and getting home, and then, like, going to put on, like, a shirt to go, like, play basketball. And this is a shirt that, like, goes almost to my knees, and all of a sudden, I can see my belly. Like, what? Just shrunk all my clothes. Everything's pink. What a mess.
All mixed together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. Don't let a 17-year-old do laundry for the first time without any explanation.
Yeah, Dad, you should learn. Calls the bank. This is your problem.
My son ruined all our clothes, and this is your fault.
Yeah. So good. Shall we wrap it up, brother?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Oh, dude, such good times. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Stories, and this is much needed. So, all right, folks, you can find Phil on Twitter. Something diabetes.
El Diabito.
El Diabito.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should probably come with a different
I
name.
love it. It's so good. Yeah. Go look at his tweets. It's a very enjoyable thing.
There's something.
There's times where I'm like, I just want to go, and then I'll retweet all of your tweets. You may see, I like retweet bombing sometimes, like 20 retweets in a row. Because they're funny, dude. They're so funny.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Back in, what was Phil thinking in 2021?
Not a lot.
No, it was hilarious. Sweet. Well, thanks so much, brother. We'll catch you guys on the next podcast. Peace.
Bye.